What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and the Chinese Grand Prix has just finished, so you know what that means. It's time to go through everything that happened in the last 2 weeks, since the last race in Japan. On the 10th of April, we had Andretti opening a new European base in Silverstone, which is 48,000 square feet, and further showing that they really want to get into F1, and well, they're showing why they really need to be in F1. Of course, this really dwarfs Haas, basically, as the other American team. Other news this week on the 11th was Fernando Alonso staying with Aston Martin until 2026 or into 2026. I'll do another video predicting the 2025 lineups and further on. But also then on the 12th of April, we had the 2025 calendar released. Big news starting in Australia again, and then China in round 2, Bahrain being moved to round 4, and Saudi Arabia. No Malaysia Grand Prix, quite disappointing. But apart from that, not much really happening. Only one Saturday race, and that is round 22 in Las Vegas. Apart from that, no real movement. But it'll be weird to have Japan at round 3. It was weird to have it this early this season. But going into the race weekend, we had updates from Alpine. Alpine have a flaw on both cars, hopefully bringing more performance for them. Haas only have the upgrade on one car, and that'll be Magnussen for this race weekend. But as we go into the race weekend, we had the new format. Of course, 2024 brings a new format for the sprint race. We're going to do sprint qualifying, then sprint race, then qualifying, then the race. Of course, FP1 before all of those. And you can see on the screen, we've got China, Miami, Austria, USA, Brazil, and Qatar. Weird circumstances, though, as the grass outside one of the turns, or inside some of the turns, caught fire. Very weird incident, but going straight into sprint qualifying, Lando Norris puts it on pole position. Great lap from him at the end. His lap got deleted, then reinstated. A uncharacteristic mistake from Verstappen going off at the final turn. He only qualifies P4 for the sprint race, and Lewis Hamilton actually capitalizing on this mistake, and he qualifies P2. He was about to set one of the fastest lap, then Lando Norris's lap got reinstated, putting him in pole position. So very good from Hamilton though, and P3 was Fernando Alonso. Moving into the sprint race though, a win for Max Verstappen, of course, from P4 on the grid. Of course, he did have to fight people, but Lando Norris shoved off the track at the first few corners by Lewis Hamilton. Made it a lot easier, really, for Max Verstappen to win this sprint race. He had to overtake, of course, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, but those were quite easy overtakes in the end for the Dutchman, and he does finish the sprint race in P1. Going into qualifying, though, for the main race, we had Max Verstappen, of course, and out was Guan Yu Zhou, Magnussen, Hamilton, Tsunoda, and Sargent. Hamilton going from P2 to P18. Q2, we had Verstappen pole on at the top, with Stroll, Ricciardo, Ocon, Albon, and Pierre Gasly being out in Q2. Those upgrades for Alpine not looking like they did much, with both cars out in Q2. Q3, though, we of course had Max Verstappen on pole position from his teammate Sergio Perez and Alonso in P3. Lando Norris and Piastri in P5 and 6, Leclerc and Sainz behind them. But going into the race, we did have Max Verstappen winning the race by 13 seconds from the next driver, which was a pretty dominant display considering there were 2 safety cars, and it was from Lando Norris that he won the race by, who got driver of the day as well. Good race from him. He started P4, of course, and finished P2. A one-stop strategy from mediums to hards worked very well for him. He beat out Sergio Perez, who was wanting to get a Red Bull 1-2 for the God knows what race in a row. But, yeah, he finished P3. Not a bad race from him, just nowhere near. He was like 5 seconds off Norris in the end. Fastest lap went to Fernando Alonso, who boxed 4 mediums, a 1 minute 37.810 on lap 45. We had 2 retirements in the race. We had 3 retirements even. We had Bottas, as you can see on screen, retiring with an engine failure. And during the safety car, just towards the end of it, we had this bizarre incident where Stroll kind of went into the corner way too hot and hit Ricciardo right at the rear end, this causing damage to both cars. Stroll damaging his front wing and the back of Ricciardo's car. So Ricciardo retires from this race due to that damage. Off the restart, we had this contact between Magnussen and Tsunoda, putting Tsunoda out of the race and into a spin and with a puncture. But that was about it for the race action, Max Verstappen winning, and the rest of the grid we had Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Alonso, Piastri, Hamilton, Hulkenberg rounding out the top 10, Ocon, Albon, Gasly, Zhou, Stroll, Magnussen and Sargent. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time for the next race. Goodbye.